Howdy, I'm here at Desmos.com to show the next part of project question 1, writing your name in Desmos. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the graphing calculator, and then I would definitely recommend creating a free account. You can log in with your email too. So I'm just going to log in, and that way I can easily save this. I'm going to call this writing name in Desmos. All right. So in the last video, I just started kind of talking through on a piece of graph paper, right, the vertical and horizontal lines that were involved in writing the letter H. We started talking about the letter H. So I'll go ahead and start entering those equations we had talked through here, maybe build a little bit more, and then hopefully that just helps give you guys a push in the right direction. And then, of course, you are always more than welcome to reach out with any questions. One thing I'm going to show here that I obviously didn't talk through in the last video is in Desmos, you can actually make folders. So I might do a folder for each letter of my name because there's going to be so many equations. That way I can easily compress all those equations into the folder so I don't have to look at all equations at a time, because it easily could be 100 equations or something like that. So we had talked in the last video about starting our letter H in the first quadrant. So again, make sure you kind of peeked at our discussion there to make this video more useful to you. And I'm going to turn on our nice projector mode. So you can see I've got a nice little straight line for the left side of my H there. And then I'm going to work on getting the little caps on the top and bottom of the H. And I only want those to go for maybe just 1 unit. So I'm between 2 and 3 on my X value there. I'm a big fan of copy and paste. So anytime I'm doing kind of the same thing, but just in a slightly different location, I will do that. I'm going to copy this guy down. So you can just kind of see how it takes a little bit of time to type it in, but thinking through it maybe a bit on graph paper first can be helpful. The other thing to note is as I'm typing in my equations and then putting on bounds, I'm using just strictly the less than and then the equal to symbol to get that less than or equal to symbol. But another place to grab it is from the little keyboard option here. So if you prefer, that's another great way to get your inequalities in there. That's actually a little easier than typing it in as I was. So now I'm working on the outside of the left side of the H. I'm going to hide that keyboard again. Desmos can actually do kind of cool thing. I know I want the 6 through 9, but I also want a little piece between like 2 and 5. So I can actually tell Desmos to do a little piece between 2 and 5, and then a little piece between 6 and 9. So again, you kind of just have to mess around for yourself. Obviously, the way I'm choosing to make my block letters here need not be the same as your block letters. You could have more creative block letters. You could even work on making yours more rounded. That's an extra challenge for sure. But then from there, I'm just going to start going over this way from my H and then put in the vertical lines on this other side. So I'll just kind of keep doing it for a minute in case it's helpful. So I need 2 more horizontal lines, 1 at 5 and 1 at 6. And that's between 3 and 4, it looks like, on my x-axis. I'll just copy paste, make that a 6. Right now I'm just letting the colors populate as I start new equations, but then I'll probably go back and make, all the equations for my H the same color, or be a little bit more strategic about the color coding. And then let's see, I feel like I can utilize this line again, just bump it over to 4, and then that's what I need. So definitely recommend some copy paste action. I also like this one, as long as I move it over to between 3 and 4. Oops, I mean 4 and 5. So if you get it wrong, right, you just try again. It's not that big of a deal. And then I want another little top piece there between 4 and 5. So there's something kind of enjoyable about this process, I hope. It's definitely more creative than a lot of math that we do, right? So enjoy it, be artistic, do something cool and surprising. And then I'll get my last bar over at 5, and what do you know, there's my H. So it took me, looks like 10 equations to build my H. Then what's cool about this little folder that I built is I can just compress it all, and now all those equations go away. So now when I start my next letter, I don't have to feel overwhelmed by all the equations we just made for H. So if you're somebody who, likes to keep things neat and clean, you'll probably like the folders idea. So that's just some ideas to get you guys started. I'll happily make more videos once I learn a little bit more what your questions are as you dive into it, or you can stop through my virtual office hours. But last thing I'll just show, it's easy to change the colors. So maybe I'll make my H all blue. You can even make it a dashed line if you prefer dashed line to solid line, but I'll just make it all the same color. You guys will have plenty of creative ideas. So there is my pretty nice looking H. I was going to write the word hi, so just let me know and I'm happy to keep going, but I would probably just start building in my I as my next letter. And then if you're feeling super fancy, you can even start working a little bit on shading. So let me know what other questions you have. I'll add into this video list, but I'm really excited to see what you all come up with. So hopefully that's a good start for you. Ooh, struggle.